Welcome back, everyone. We're on episode 35 of our deep dive into Rumi, and I'm so excited to dig into something pretty huge today.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like, I don't know, time's just like slipping through your fingers or
Yeah.
like nothing really truly satisfies you? It's kind of a universal thing, and it turns out Rumi, the mystic poet that we've been exploring, he wrestled with this centuries ago.
And did he ever? It's amazing, really, how timeless his insights are.
It is, right. So we'll be diving deep into his answers today, and our source material is pretty cool. It's this collection called Marifat, and it has 40 translated conversations between Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani.
And I should add a little note here for our listeners. These are translated conversations, so, we're doing our best to be accurate.
Right.
But some of the nuances, those little details from the original Persian might get lost.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You know how it is with translations, right? We apologize for any discrepancies that might pop up.
Totally. So I want to jump right in. One thing that really stuck with me was this Persian word, Malal. It describes like a deep existential boredom. It's not just being tired or like, needing a nap. It's like this deeper emptiness. And Rumi, he saw this as a paradox. It's like you're stuck in slow motion, but nothing's exciting enough to actually fill the time. Have you ever felt that?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of just being completely stuck. And what's fascinating is that both Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani suggest that this malal, it's not just like some random feeling. It's actually tied to our emotions, to how we feel.
Interesting.
So how we perceive time is deeply connected to our emotional state.
Okay, so it's not so much about time itself, but how we're experiencing it, like emotionally. It's almost like time warps depending on our mood.
That's a great way to put it. And Rumi believed we could actually shift our perception of time, like literally change how we experience it.
Really?
Well, instead of, focusing on all the superficial stuff, the things that leave us feeling empty, he suggested we need to tap into the deeper mysteries of the universe. It's like rekindling that sense of awe and wonder we had when we were kids,
I love that. So even Malal, this existential boredom, could be like an invitation to explore, to seek something more.
Exactly. Dr. Larijani actually suggests that if we believe that the world is full of secrets and mysteries, then even boredom, it becomes a quest, like a treasure hunt for deeper understanding.
That's such a cool way to look at it. But then, Dr. Dinani reminds us that, hey, we do have limitations. We only have so much time, right?
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile that with this like quest for infinite understanding?
Well, he brings up a really fascinating point about this. He uses the prophet Noah as an example. Now, Noah, he lived for centuries, but even his lifespan was finite.
True.
So recognizing our limitations, it's not about being pessimistic. It's about being realistic and making the most of the time that we have.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's about being intentional with our energy, our focus, not wasting time on things that don't, ultimately fulfill us.
You got it. And Dr. Larijani takes this idea even further. He suggests that the key is to shift our focus from the finite world to the infinite.
Okay. How do we do that? It sounds a bit abstract.
Well, he uses this captivating example to try to illustrate this point. Imagine someone who's completely fixated on a beautiful face, right?
Right.
They're totally captivated by that beauty, but when they're separated from that person, they feel this huge sense of loss.
So it's like their happiness is entirely dependent on that one thing.
Exactly. And Dr. Larijani is saying that if they understood the deeper essence of beauty, the part that goes beyond, just the physical form, then that longing, it wouldn't be so intense.
Interesting.
They'd experience this more lasting connection because they'd be tapping into something timeless.
So it's about like recognizing that true beauty, it goes beyond the superficial. It's about connecting with something deeper, something that resonates with our souls.
Exactly. And that reminds me of something Dr. Dinani said about how we can never truly grasp a single moment because the moment we try to hold on to it, it's already gone.
Oh yeah, that feeling of time slipping through our fingers, it's so frustrating.
He uses this very striking image. He says, the moment you try to grasp a moment, it has already slipped into the next.
Wow.
It's a really powerful reminder that life is a continuous flow.
So the key is to embrace the flow, find joy in the present moment, rather than, clinging to the past or worrying about the future.
Rumi captured this beautifully in his poetry. He wrote, with each breath, the world is made new, and we, in our pursuit of permanence, remain unaware of this constant becoming.
That is so true. And that makes me think about the importance of silence. in those quiet moments, away from all the noise and distractions, we can really tune into the present.
Both Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larajani talk about this a lot. They emphasize silence as a key to deeper understanding.
Hmm.
Dr. Dinani even says, silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation.
Wow, that's powerful. It's like in the silence we can finally hear that deeper wisdom that's always there, but, it's often drowned out by the noise of the world.
It is. It's like clearing away all the static so we can tune into a deeper frequency, whether it's through meditation, spending time in nature, or just finding those little pockets of quiet in our day. It's about creating that inner space where we can connect with, our true selves.
Yeah, I love that. And Dr. Junani brought up this really fascinating concept from the Quran.
Okay.
It's this idea that God is always with us.
No, that's a challenging one, but it has really profound implications. Imagine if you truly believed that you were constantly in the presence of, someone you deeply respected.
Right.
Wouldn't your behavior, your choices, your whole way of being change?
I think it would make me a lot more mindful.
Exactly. Recognizing this constant presence can bring this whole new level of awareness to our lives.
Yeah, like realizing that we're never truly alone, right? There's this constant source of support, guidance, and love surrounding us.
And Dr. Dinani goes on to explain that our intentions, the energy we put out into the world, it actually has a real impact.
So it's like what goes around comes around, but like on a much deeper level.
Think of it this way. If we approach life with love, kindness, and generosity, those qualities will manifest in our experiences. But of course, the opposite is also true.
It's like a mirror reflecting back the energy we're putting out, huh?
Exactly. And Dr. Lourjani uses this really powerful analogy. He compares our lives to, like, tending a garden.
Oh, I like that.
So if we want, beautiful flowers, we need to cultivate the right conditions, we need healthy soil, good seeds, and we have to be really diligent about weeding out anything that hinders the growth.
So our environment plays a significant role in our personal growth.
Absolutely. Dr. Larijani emphasizes that we have to be mindful of the company we keep, the influences we allow into our lives. It's about creating a space that supports our growth and well-being.
Like being selective about what we're feeding our minds and souls.
Exactly. And while it's important to surround ourselves with positive influences, Dr. Dinani also cautions against judging others. Everyone's on their own unique journey.
Right. It's about focusing on our own growth, making choices that support our own path, and recognizing that, everyone else is doing the same in their own way.
Absolutely. And Dr. Larijani points out that even difficult relationships can be really valuable.
How so? It seems like those would be the ones we'd want to, avoid.
Well, he suggests that these relationships, they can offer us this reflection of ourselves that we might not see otherwise.
Oh, interesting.
They challenge us to grow and evolve in ways that we wouldn't expect.
So it's like those difficult people are actually holding up a mirror, showing us aspects of ourselves that we need to work on.
Precisely. And this is where Rumi's teachings on compassion come in. He emphasizes the importance of seeing, like, the divine spark in everyone, even those who seem unlovable or difficult.
It's not about, condoning harmful behavior, but it's about recognizing the inherent worth of every being.
And Dr. Dinani stresses the importance of forgiveness in this process. Holding on to anger and resentment, it only hurts us in the end.
Yeah, it's like carrying around a heavy weight that prevents us from moving forward.
He actually says, and this is a great one, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is about releasing that burden, letting go of the past, and creating space for healing.
But forgiveness can be so hard, especially when someone has really hurt us. Where do we even begin?
Well, Dr. Luriani suggests that it starts with ourselves. Can we forgive ourselves for our own mistakes, for the times we've hurt others, even unintentionally?
Right.
He believes that self-compassion is the foundation for offering compassion to others.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill yourself up with compassion first.
And Dr. Dinani adds that as we cultivate self-compassion, we naturally start to see the world with more understanding and forgiveness.
So it's a ripple effect, starting with ourselves, and then it expands outward.
Yeah.
But if we forgive someone, does that mean we condone their actions?
Not necessarily. Dr. Dinani explains that we can acknowledge that, someone's actions were harmful, but still choose to forgive them.
Okay.
It's about separating the person from their actions.
So it's about recognizing that Everyone makes mistakes, and that doesn't diminish their inherent worth.
Exactly. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or allowing ourselves to be hurt again. It's about setting healthy boundaries, protecting ourselves while choosing to release, the bitterness and resentment.
So forgiveness is about reclaiming our power, choosing how we respond to difficult situations.
Dr. Larry Jani is very clear about this. He says, forgiveness isn't weak. It takes incredible strength. It's choosing compassion over anger, healing over hurt.
Yeah, it's about breaking free from that cycle of negativity and creating space for something new to emerge.
And this brings us to one of Dr. Dhanani's favorite Rumi quotes. He says, "The wound is the place where the light enters you."
That's beautiful and so thought-provoking. It's like even our most painful experiences can be catalysts for growth.
It's about finding that glimmer of light, that spark of resilience within ourselves, even when we feel broken.
It's like recognizing that even the darkest moments can lead us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world.
Dr. Lorajani adds that we're never alone in this process, that there's this force, a presence that supports us, guides us, and offers unconditional love.
Even when we feel lost and alone, there's something bigger holding us, whispering encouragement and guiding us toward healing.
And I have to share another one of Rumi's metaphors that really stuck with me. He says, "Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop."
What a powerful image. It's like letting go of what no longer serves us, those old patterns, beliefs, and attachments that are holding us back. It's about creating space for new growth.
Exactly. Rumi is urging us to embrace those natural cycles of shedding and renewal, to surrender to that process of transformation. And this leads us to one of his most profound and perhaps most challenging teachings, the concept of dying before you die.
Now that sounds a little ominous. Is he talking about physical death?
Not in the literal sense. Dr. Dhanani explains that this is about a metaphorical death, a shedding of the ego, that limited sense of self that keeps us attached to the material world, to our desires and fears.
So it's about letting go of all of that, our fears, our attachments, the things that are keeping us from experiencing true freedom.
Yes. Dr. Larajani adds that it's about transcending that sense of separation of me versus other and recognizing the interconnectedness of everything. It's about experiencing unity with something much greater than ourselves.
Like realizing that we're all part of something bigger, connected like drops in a vast ocean.
Exactly. And both experts agree that this realization can be incredibly freeing, but also terrifying. It requires a willingness to surrender to the unknown, to let go of control, and embrace the mystery of life.
It's like taking a leap of faith, stepping off a cliff without knowing what's below, but trusting that you'll be supported.
And Dr. Dhanani emphasizes that this process of dying before you die, it's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing practice, a continual shedding of those layers that keep us, separate and small.
So it's a continuous process of unlearning and relearning, of letting go of old patterns and embracing new ways of being.
And Dr. Lirajani highlights the importance of choosing the right environment for this kind of transformation. He brings up the analogy of a garden again, emphasizing the need to surround ourselves with people and influences that nurture our growth.
So it's not just about like our internal work, but also about creating external conditions that support our transformation.
Absolutely. It's about being mindful of the energy we're exposed to, the company we keep, and the influences we allow into our lives.
And that makes me think about how important it is to cultivate like positive relationships, connections that inspire us and challenge us to grow.
Yes. Dr. Dhanani suggests that we approach relationships as opportunities to, learn and evolve. He reminds us that every interaction, even the difficult ones, they can offer valuable insights into ourselves.
It's like seeing every relationship as a mirror, reflecting back aspects of ourselves that we might not see otherwise.
Exactly. And this brings us back to Rumi's teachings on love. But he wasn't just talking about romantic love, was he?
No, I get the sense that his idea of love was much, much broader, more expansive.
You're absolutely right. Dr. Larijani explains that for Rumi, love was like the driving force of the universe, the energy that connects everything. And he believed that experiencing true love in any form could open our hearts to a deeper connection with the divine.
So it's about cultivating that sense of awe and appreciation for the world, that feeling of deep connection with everything around us.
Dr. Dhanani puts it beautifully. He says that for Rumi, love wasn't just a feeling, it was a state of being. It's about transcending that limited perspective of the ego and experiencing unity with all that is.
It's like recognizing that we're all part of this vast interconnected web woven together by love.
Exactly. But Dr. Larijani is also careful to point out that this kind of love isn't always easy. It takes patience, forgiveness, and a willingness to truly see each other, even when it's difficult.
It's about choosing to see the good in others, even when they're being difficult, and responding with kindness and understanding.
Dr. Dinani shares a powerful Rumi quote that speaks to this. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it.
Wow, that is profound. It's like he's saying that love is already there inside each of us, but we've put up all these walls to block it.
And by tearing down those walls, by letting go of our fears and insecurities, we allow that love to flow freely through us. And that love has the power to transform not just our lives, but the world around us.
It's like opening a window and letting the sunlight stream in. But how do we do that? How do we tear down those walls and let that love in?
Well, that's the big question, right? And it's something Rumi really explored deeply. Dr. Dinani suggests it starts with becoming aware of those barriers. Like, what are the fears, the insecurities, those past hurts that are preventing us from, really experiencing love fully?
So it's like taking an honest inventory of our emotional baggage and figuring out what needs to be, released.
Precisely. Dr. Larijani, he uses this beautiful analogy. He compares our hearts to a garden. If we want love to flourish, we need to tend to that garden with care.
Oh, that's such a great image. So we're talking about like planting seeds of kindness, compassion, understanding, and weeding out the things that are like choking the growth, like judgment and resentment.
You got it. And Dr. Dinani reminds us that this weeding process, it often involves forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Remember that quote about holding on to anger being like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die?
Oh yeah, it's a powerful reminder that forgiveness is ultimately like an act of self-care. It's about freeing ourselves from that heavy weight of negativity.
And Dr. Larijani is adamant that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but actually a display of incredible strength. It's about consciously choosing compassion over anger, choosing healing over hurt.
So it's like reclaiming our power to choose how we respond to those tough situations rather than letting our emotions, dictate our actions.
Exactly. And that brings us to another essential element in cultivating love, according to Dr. Larijani, self-compassion. He suggests that we can't authentically offer love to others if we haven't learned to offer it to ourselves first.
Yeah, it goes back to that idea. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
We have to replenish our own reserves of compassion first.
Dr. Dinani expands on this, saying that practicing self-compassion, it naturally expands outwards. It leads us to see the world with more understanding and forgiveness, and we become less judgmental, both of ourselves and others.
So it's like a ripple effect, starting with ourselves, and then it like spreads outward, touching everyone around us.
Precisely. And that circles back beautifully to Rumi's profound quote. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there.
Oh, that quote, it always gives me chills. It speaks to this like beautiful space of unity and acceptance that exists beyond judgment, beyond our limited perceptions of right and wrong.
Dr. Dinani assures us that this field is always accessible to us no matter, where we are on our journey. All we have to do is open our hearts and step into it.
It's comforting to know that such a place of unconditional love and acceptance exists,
Yeah, Dr. Larijani reminds us that the space isn't something we need to search for, like outside ourselves. It's already present within each of us. It's that quiet, still point within where we connect with our true nature.
That makes me think about the importance of cultivating silence in our lives. It's when we quiet the noise of the world that we can truly hear those like whispers of our soul.
Exactly. And those whispers, they often hold the guidance, the wisdom, and the love that we've been seeking all along.
Rumi's poetry, it just seems to be full of these invitations to like dive deeper, explore those mysteries of the universe, both within us and around us.
His words, they offer a path to a more meaningful and fulfilling life, a life that's grounded in love, compassion, and that deep connection with the divine.
And, that reminds me of something Dr. Dinani mentioned. He said that to truly understand Rumi's teachings, we have to go beyond like just reading his words. We have to embody them. We have to integrate them into our lives.
He encourages us to approach Rumi's work as a practice, not just like a theoretical study, right? It's about taking his insights and applying them to our relationships, our work, and our spiritual journeys.
It's about letting his words inspire us to live more consciously, cultivate more compassion, and embrace, the mystery and beauty of life with open hearts.
And Dr. Larijani brought up a really interesting point about how we can deepen our understanding of Rumi's teachings. He suggested that we explore them in conversation with others, in a spirit of shared inquiry.
Oh, I love that. It's like creating a space where we can bounce ideas off each other, share different perspectives, and deepen our collective understanding.
Exactly. Dr. Dunani added that this kind of dialogue is so valuable because everyone brings, their unique experiences and insights to the table. We can learn so much from each other.
Yeah, it's like we're all pieces of a puzzle, and by coming together, we can create a more complete picture.
And that collaborative spirit, that sense of interconnectedness, that's really at the heart of Rumi's teachings. He saw humanity as one big family, united by these invisible threads of love.
And it's through those connections, those bonds of love and compassion, that we can truly, heal ourselves and the world around us.
Beautifully said. And speaking of healing, Dr. Dunani shared a Rumi quote that really resonated with me. The wound is the place where the light enters you.
Wow, that's powerful. It suggests that even our most painful experiences, they can be opportunities for growth and transformation.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of suffering, there's a possibility for healing, for a deeper understanding, and for a more profound connection with the divine.
It's about finding that glimmer of light, that spark of resilience within ourselves, even when things feel impossible.
And Dr. Lariani reminds us that we're not alone in this process. There's a force, a presence that supports us, guides us, and offers unconditional love and compassion.
Even when we feel lost and alone, there's something bigger holding us, whispering encouragement and guiding us toward healing. So it's like Rumi is saying, yes, life can be challenging, but you have the strength to face those challenges and emerge even stronger.
He certainly seems to believe in our inherent resilience. And one of the ways he encourages us to cultivate that resilience is through embracing the concept of dying before you die.
Now, I know we touched on this earlier, but it's such a powerful and somewhat paradoxical concept. Can you unpack that a bit more for us?
Of course, remember, we're not talking about physical death. Dr. Dinani emphasizes that it's about a metaphorical death, a shedding of the ego and those aspects of our identity that keep us feeling, separate and limited.
So it's about letting go of those rigid ideas of who we think we are,
Yeah.
so we can discover our true expansive nature.
Exactly. Dr. Larijani adds that it's about transcending the me versus you mentality and recognizing the interconnectedness of everything. It's about experiencing a sense of unity with something much greater than ourselves.
It's like waking up from a dream and realizing that we're all connected, all part of this grand cosmic dance. But I have to admit, the idea of dying before you die still feels a bit daunting. Are there specific steps we can take to cultivate this kind of transformation, or is it something that unfolds more organically?
Well, it's a bit of both, really. It's a conscious practice, and at the same time, it's about recognizing that some things are beyond our control. Dr. Dinani explains it's not about, physically dying, but about letting go of those layers of ego, the attachments and fears that keep us, feeling small and separated.
So it's like a process of unlearning, like who we think we are, and dismantling those limiting beliefs that stop us from experiencing our true nature, right?
Exactly. Dr. Lariani adds that it's about moving beyond that me versus you mindset and recognizing how interconnected everything really is. It's about experiencing that sense of unity with something much bigger than ourselves.
Okay, yeah, it's like waking up from a dream and realizing we're all connected. We're all part of this huge cosmic dance. But I have to admit, this dying before you die thing, it's still kind of daunting. Are there like specific steps we can take to cultivate this kind of transformation, or is it something that just kind of happens, organically?
Dr. Dinani suggests that we approach it as an ongoing practice, a continual process of self-reflection and letting go. He says it's really important to question our assumptions, challenge our beliefs, and be willing to shed those old patterns that aren't serving us anymore.
So it's not about like reaching some final destination. It's more about embracing the journey of transformation itself.
Beautifully said. And Dr. Larijani adds that this journey requires us to be okay with being a little uncomfortable, with embracing the unknown. He reminds us that real growth often happens outside of our comfort zones.
So it's about like having the courage to let go of control and surrender to the flow of life, even when it feels scary.
Absolutely. And Dr. Denani uses a really helpful analogy here. He compares this process to a river, saying that a river that flows freely, adapting to all the curves and bends in the landscape, is way more resilient than a river that tries to force its way through obstacles.
Oh, okay, I get it. So it's about letting go of the need to, like, control every little thing and trusting that life will guide us where we need to go, even if it's, not the path we had in mind.
Exactly. And this idea of surrender, it ties in so beautifully with Rumi's emphasis on the power of love. And as you might have guessed, he wasn't just talking about romantic love.
Right. It seems like his concept of love was, like, way bigger than that.
You're right. Dr. Larijani explains that for Rumi, love was the actual force that animates the universe, the energy that connects everything. And he believed that experiencing true love in any form, it could open our hearts to a deeper connection with the divine.
It's like seeing that divine spark in ourselves and everyone around us
Yeah.
and treating each other with that same reverence and compassion.
And Dr. Denani, he describes this love as a state of being, not just a fleeting feeling. It's about going beyond those limitations of the ego and experiencing a deep sense of unity with everything that is.
It's like realizing we're all part of this vast interconnected web, and we're all woven together by these invisible threads of love and compassion. But how do we cultivate that kind of, like, expansive love, especially in a world that often feels so divided and disconnected?
That's a really important question. And both Dr. Denani and Dr. Larijani, they really dig into this. They say that this kind of love, it isn't always easy. It takes patience, forgiveness, and a willingness to truly see each other, even when it's, really challenging.
Okay, so it's about looking past the surface and seeing the inherent worth and dignity of every being, even when they're, not showing us their best side.
Exactly. And Dr. Denani shares this Rumi quote that I think sums it up perfectly. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it.
Wow, that really hits home. So he's saying love isn't something that we need to go searching for out there in the world. It's already present inside of us.
You got it. But we've built all these defenses, all these walls around our hearts, to try to protect ourselves from getting hurt. And the real work, the real challenge is in taking down those walls brick by brick to let that love flow freely.
And that takes a lot of courage, right? A lot of vulnerability and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zone.
Absolutely. But, the rewards are huge. When we open our hearts to love, we open ourselves to a whole world of connection, joy, and deep meaning.
And that brings us full circle to that beautiful image that Rumi gave us. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there.
It's such a powerful invitation to this place of unity and acceptance and unconditional love. It's a reminder that despite our differences, our flaws, and our past mistakes, there's a space where we can all come together, a space of pure connection and belonging.
And Dr. Denani reminds us that this field, it's not some far-off destination. It's always available to us,
Yeah.
right here, right now. All we have to do is open our hearts and step into it.
And Dr. Larijani adds that one of the best ways to access this field, to really experience this sense of unity, is through, cultivating silence.
It's about creating those moments of stillness where we can, like, quiet the noise of the world around us and tune into the whispers of our soul.
And in those whispers, we might just find the answers we've been searching for, the love we've been longing for, and that connection that makes life truly meaningful.
What a beautiful way to wrap up this deep dive. Rumi's wisdom has so much to offer, so much to explore and to think about and to really bring into our lives.
And as we continue on this journey of self-discovery, let's remember his words. You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life?
May we all have the courage to spread our wings and soar. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of Rumi. Until next time, may you find moments of peace, joy, and a heart filled with love.